back to me. Enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. You won't bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. Enough is enough, is enough, is enough. Enough is enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Indie Wrestling Corner with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host, as always, the queen of the Indies, Tiffany. And today I got a little tag team action for you guys. Some up and coming, the Lost Boys. We got Juni Underwood and Athan Promise. How are ya?
We're doing good.
You're doing
Very
good?
good.
Doing fantastic. We just won our second set of championship belts, so we're in a good mood.
I
Yeah.
know.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I know a bunch of people are really excited for me to have you guys on. So yeah, this one's been a long time coming. Yeah, a lot of great things are coming on here. We just had like a whole funny conversation off air. We're talking about pretty much how people say people's names. So that seems to be the thing going on right now with wrestling lately, pronouncing everybody's names right and wrong. And yeah, that was pretty interesting. What was like the worst way that somebody have said your names?
Well, I mean, with Juni, which is short for Junius, I'll let that be known. That's fine. People have called me like Janias, Janus. Like they'll just forget a lot of syllables or just skip syllables. With Juni, I do think like Hooney is probably pretty bad.
Typically, people, they call me all sorts of things just because Athan's kind of unique. Aiden, Ethan, Nathan, Athan, all of the above. They know Athens, Greece, so they call Athan. But the weirdest thing I actually just finished talking to my fellow Lost Boy Miles about this literally right before I came on here. One time I got an autograph from Adam Cole back in 2019 at the Evolve 10th anniversary show. I said my name's Athan, so he signed it out to Athan. However, he spelled it Atahan, which is Atahan. So my autograph from Adam Cole says to Atahan, which is close enough.
Dude, I didn't know that story. That's a pretty good one.
You could never give that away. You can, there you go. I love it. I love it. Guys, if you're new here to the Under Rope series, here I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, promoters, referees, backstage interviewers, all that fun stuff. I got you covered. If you guys got questions for these guys, feel free, drop it into the chat. If you're listening to this later, leave some comments below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, all that fun stuff. So, yeah. So let's dive in. Let's learn a little bit about you guys. So let's start. We're gonna go a little back to basics here. Like, how did you guys meet?
Training. We literally, I think I had all of maybe 2 training sessions prior to meeting Athan, and then I know Athan had a couple of training sessions prior to me even starting. But yeah, we kind of just clicked. Just kind of there's not a really interesting story around it. It's just kind of that typical story,
Yeah, we started at the Wrestle Factory, and myself, Miles, Ryan, and Juni, all 4 of the Lost Boys, we all started at the same time, almost the exact same time, within a couple of days of each other in the core curriculum. So we're all the new kids, but then also we all shared a passion for the storytelling aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we really kind of bonded over. I remember there was a 4th of July barbecue, and Juni and I just started talking on our own about how we wanted to tell stories and our goals in wrestling, and we really hit it off there. So
yeah. And then through that, literally we trained in a lot of different places together. We went from there to now we pretty often train with Burger out of the Worldwide Dojo. We both trained with, all 4 Lost Boys trained with Speedball a good amount. Speedball Mike Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of just have all the forms of training that we have, for the most part, minus a couple of things, we've all done pretty much together.
Mm-hmm. Miles is in the chat. Hi, Miles. He said he spelled my name correctly.
Yes, because Miles was there also to meet Adam Cole. However, Miles has a little more of a common name, so.
I love that. I see Will in the chat. What's going on, Will? How are you? Thanks for joining on in here. But yeah, so talk to us a little bit about the Lost Boys. How did the name come about? So you talked a little bit about you guys forming together. So where did the name come from?
I mean, there's a couple of little so we didn't have a home promotion.
Mm-hmm.
We've had to kind of literally find somewhere to just put us on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that idea. We were just literally we kind of just felt lost, and then literally we debuted for Magic, for Wrestling Magic, and the commentator straight up said, "These boys look lost."
Oh.
And it was kind of a wow,
Yeah.
It's kind of wow.
That day, we showed up to Pro Wrestling Magic just to help out with the ring crew, help out set up the ring, and they were like, "Hey, do you guys have any gear? We'd like you guys to face one of our tag teams," which was RTB at the time. And we were like, "Oh yeah, we have gear." Our gear was, Juni had black and blue joggers, and I had Adidas pants.
I actually think I'm wearing
knee
them.
pads.
I'm actually wearing them at the moment, as we speak.
Yeah, just totally comfy, casual clothes. But it worked. So we came out, and it was the first time we had ever come out in front of a crowd. And we kind of just acted I don't know, weirdos. We came out to Pretty Boy by
Joji.
and
it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, but the commentators were like, "These boys look lost." So we kind of ran with it.
Yeah. And for those who don't know who RTB is/was, Abed Aronis and Joe Cruel are now Memory Museum. And at one point, they were RTB, which included V. Daniel. And they literally we wrestle them so often, and I travel with them a lot now. And like because of that day, like I don't know, it's just one of those things where like you really meet, you know, through doing this thing, you really meet the people that are gonna stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
You may not know it at the time. Like there's no way I could have known that a year and a half ago, those guys that I wrestled in one of my first matches ever, that I was gonna, you know, travel to Massachusetts on like some random night and, you know, just travel with them and be with them and like learn about who they are as humans, not even just like, you know, behind the curtain. So it's like really interesting to kind of see kind of not only how far they've come, but also how far like, we've come in that time.
Definitely. So I like to ask this question because obviously we're going to talk about all sorts of things on this podcast, but you know, you guys are always hard on yourself, so I always like to ask this. What's a match that you guys could recommend for a fan that may be listening to this podcast, never seen you guys wrestle before, to become an instant fan of you guys?
That's a good question.
That is actually a great question. I have a
I would suggest it was somewhat recently. There's a lot of good options to choose from, and Juni may have a different answer, but I would suggest the Steel Stacks match. So we recently wrestled for LVAC at the historic Steel Stacks in Bethlehem, and it was all four of the Lost Boys for the first ever time teaming up together, and we faced the Cyberhawks and Montekia. We were the opening match of that show. It was a massive show. It was in front of one of the largest crowds we'd ever wrestled in front of, and the energy was just awesome. And I think that's a really good example of who our characters are. I think in terms of tag team matches, I think our last match that we just had was pretty ugly at UWA Elite at Brawl for It All, and one of our first matches at ETWA in Vermont, it was a 4-way tag match. It was ourselves against the Colony, which are the Ants, the Rat Bastards, and the Cold Hard Guapos, which is the team that we just beat this past weekend for the ETWA Tag Team Championships. I think that match was a great match where we told a really, really nice story. It was like a 20-minute match. At the time, it was our longest match, and we showed all sorts of emotions and fight and passion and good sides of us, bad sides of us, vulnerable sides of us, etc. In that match. So I think that was also a really good match to watch.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. I think there's some other matches that I just find really fun in which we are really good at not taking ourselves like too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
There's this match that we had on Pro Wrestling Magic. It was literally a 3-on-2 where it was literally it was their October show last year, and we were all dressed up as Lock, Shock, and Barrel. We had a fun little, like, we had a little opening segment with Shane Fair, the announcer, and it was just so much fun. Like the match was really short, and like we didn't get any, but it was just that idea of like us going out there, like truly entertaining, and just learning and really like diving into that aspect of us. And then I would also agree with, like, I think maybe in terms of full like Raw tag team action, the match we had with Jay Evans and Eddie Thomas, they're pretty ugly. They like it was such a good match. Like we've wrestled them multiple times, and then this time I really want to put over how like Eddie Thomas has literally, I hope he watches this one day, because like I'll never be able to sing his praises loud enough. He's like genuinely like an unsung like hero of wrestling. Like he's so good, but nobody knows who he is. But he's been working really hard on himself and just really like honing his craft ability. We go out and just have like such a good, fun match, and the crowd loved it, and it's not something they're used to seeing. And I genuinely think like if he wasn't in that match, it would just be, I don't know, like it was just so he did very good at like keeping us on track while also really uh, pushing us to be as good as we can be. At least that's how it felt for me. Because every time I talk to him, I'm like, man, this guy makes me want to just like, I don't know, push a boulder up a cliff and like
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I agree.
and just be hype about it because like I don't know, under his enthusiasm, I feel like I could do it. And so for me, I would say those are probably my favorite. And then obviously, like I love the fatal 4-way match we had because I think the storytelling, like Ethan said. But I definitely think since holding the UWA championships, we've had a lot of really good, like we've just been learning, trying to learn as much as we can. And so through doing that, we're having a better match after a better match after better match.
Right. I think they get better as they go along,
Yeah.
especially in UWA.
That's funny. Melissa popped into the chat. Hi, Melissa. We were talking about you guys last night. We were on the phone and we were talking about Pro Wrestling Magic and we were talking about UWA Elite and, you know, she saw you guys before I saw you guys, you know, that I had heard even like the super camp and stuff like that, there, I was told like Cody had said like, oh, you're going to like these guys. I know you're going to like these guys, you know? So it's great. Huh?
That super camp was interesting. Very fun.
Yeah.
So it's great that it's like, you know, that's, you know, the whole thing, like that super camp was great because you had a whole bunch of different promoters that were coming from all over the place, scouting, you know, you get to find new talents, new names and everything. So that was a good thing, you know. I don't know if they're going to do that again this year. So we'll see if that like happens, but let's see in the chat. I see like a whole bunch of people popping in. Hi guys. I know Raw's on. I'm sorry. DJ Myers says Lost Boys. Captain Dave's in the chat. John's in the chat. He says, hey, thanks for coming on in here, you know, pretty much. So, yeah, you guys went like all over the place. Like, I definitely was going to talk like all different things, you know, like we could talk a little bit about UWA Elite. Again, you're currently tag team champions. I mean, I've been there. It's such a fun, like, promotion. A lot of great guys. I mean, like, Arcadia is one of my favorite wrestlers. I know he doesn't really wrestle anymore. Me and Melissa were talking about that last night. Like he needs to come back out of retirement. You know, Matt Vertigo. Like, there's so many great names. Joey Silva, I heard, made an appearance this weekend.
There's also a ton of like alumni out of there.
Yeah. Like
a lot of people who are really tearing it up right now. Like Casey Navarro, Jordan Oliver. Like, just to name a few. Like, just being able to be in an area like that has been pretty sick.
Yeah. So, you know, talk to us a little bit more, like, UWA Elite. I mean, like, the fans are great, you know, like Flash Carter. Again, some of those names, like, you know, Eric Corvus. This is like great people there. So, you know, who do you want to work? You know?
The two that you just mentioned, I really want to work. I really want to work Flash Carter. He actually trained a little bit with us. He came up around he was a little bit before us, but he came up around the same time with us, trained with us, and we all kind of came into UWA Elite at the same time. And he won his championship the same night we won our championships a couple months ago, and it was just a nice moment for us also. Flash Carter, always would love to wrestle him. And then Eric Corvus. Eric Corvus was the one that brought us in, and we've yet to share the ring with him. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to.
What just got thrown at you?
This is my cat, Atticus. Oh, never mind. He jumped down out of thin air.
Oh boy, well maybe the cat will make an appearance later. Melissa said, what do you both think of your first year at the fair with UWA?
Oh, loved it. I was very tired. I had 10 matches. It was nice. Wrestle all the time. By the end of it, though, there was a couple of points where I was looking at Athan and I go, hey, man, I'm hurting. And he's just like, I got you, brother. And I'm like, all right, thanks.
Yeah, that was an incredible time. We defended the UWA Elite Championships 5 times against a whole bunch of different teams, and that was really fun. But my favorite part of it was just a mother of a fan that we know very well from Pro Wrestling Magic and UWA Elite and such, and she came up to us and she said, 2 years ago, we came to this fair and we didn't know about wrestling, didn't care for wrestling. It wasn't on our minds. We stumbled upon this show just being at the fair. And since then, me and my daughter have been fans ever since.
Oh, I wonder who that is. That's Melissa, who's in the chat right now.
And that's why it's such a, right, I don't know if I wanted to, I don't know if you guys want to
it's fine.
put that out there, but yeah, it's very, very, when she said that, it was one of the coolest things, and it really put it into perspective for me and for the rest of the Lost Boys, that every single one of those matches, because wrestlers can go and like Juni said, it's 10 matches in just a matter of a couple of days. They run multiple shows per day. It's easy to just think I'm just going to go out there and just run through the basics, run through the motions, right? Because it's just so many matches. But every single match matters, because someone that has never seen it before can stumble across it, and if you catch their eye, you could be the reason that they fall in love with this brand new art form and become passionate about it, and it can change their entire life for the better. So from that point on, not that we didn't take matches seriously before then, but from that point on, it really put it into perspective and really try to engage as much as possible and try to make new fans whenever possible.
Huh. Did you guys pig out at the fair?
No.
No?
We unfortunately didn't. We did, the very, very last night after the very last show that we wrestled on, myself, Juni, and Miles did treat ourselves to some very good ice cream on waffles and brownies. But other than that, we did not pig out at the fair, actually.
So I don't know if you know this about me, but when I have matches, I can't eat.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I get bloated. I don't like eating the entire day.
I have severe anxiety, and the food does not help. Well, also it's just when I have that kind of anxiety, I just can't eat. So literally, I pig out as soon as I get home after every show. Yep.
Melissa, was that the brownie ice cream thing we did one year? We took the ice cream home. I think we got really sick.
Oh, no.
Or I got really sick. We were drinking too, I think, after. But yeah, the fair is awesome. If anybody you should go once. That fair goes on it's all week. And there's just so much that goes on, and all the food and the wrestling and the petting zoo and all that stuff. It's so cool in Jersey. So definitely check that out if you can. Zach's in the chat. Hi, Zach. How are you? Miles said we had a great ice cream waffle.
Yeah.
Let's see. Waffle Sundays. Yep. Ryan Redfield's in the chat. He's back at H2O. He came back out the other night. He goes, I'm different with that. I eat hours before the match or eat before I leave for the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's interesting. It's always interesting to see. I know a lot of people don't like to eat before, or they'll eat after, or or I'll see people.
The one thing I'll say that does keep us, Wawa. I was gonna say the one thing that does keep us running is Wawa. The Lost Boys run on Wawa, and I know Juni kind of has a little bit of a pre or post match ritual where he eats a king size Reese's, and then I get a soft pretzel, and we all just pig out on soft pretzels and Reese's. So that is something that we do.
I can eat a mean Reese's.
Team Wawa, we love them. This is why we love them. So now we got to get you sponsored by Wawa.
One day, yes.
Dude, please.
They will come out with the shirts and everything for the matches dedicated to Wawa.
Yeah. Just get us a Lost in Wawa shirt.
Perfect.
That's it. That's your next shirt.
Lost
That's your next merch. I'm here for it.
Hey, man. Might be able to get the font,
We'll see. If anybody out there that can do it, maybe they'll make it out there for you. Well, I had the slime balls on not that long ago, but they were talking about you guys as well. You guys wrestled a couple of times. You know, I saw you guys wrestle at NFW, which was fun. So talk about them, because they said a lot of nice stuff about you. They said that they could wrestle you anytime, forever, pretty much. Like, you guys have good chemistry.
Literally same. There's a couple of teams that I'm just like, I know I could wrestle them whenever. I could be on zero sleep, tired, hurting, and I would be like, yeah, I'm comfortable enough to wrestle these guys and know that they will also take care of me, and know that somehow we will still have a really good, clean match. And they're one of those teams. Like, literally, both of them are such, and they're also just such good individual people.
They are, yeah.
Oh my God. Like, just...
The first time we ever actually met them was at that super camp. So that's another good thing about the super camp. It allowed us to meet so many people. And I remember, funny story, when Juni and I saw the slime balls for the first time at the camp, we were like, oh my gosh, these guys are so annoying. But like, it was because they did it well.
Yeah.
In terms of they
Like-
were so annoying, like they did it so well. It was like all they did was like screech in the match and like be so annoying. And it was like it was the best heel work that I saw all day.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was-
was like, please turn them off, like in the fan perspective. So it was very funny. They're so talented in that way. They can get under your skin, but then they can also make you root for them, like so easily.
Right.
So
Literally, I don't know what it is about Tom, but like, I literally am like, I want to punch you in the face, and I want to go to bat for you at the same time so bad. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know why I want to do
they
that.
can
But
do it so well. They can both do both so well, which is
They're very good.
incredible. And I think that gimmick is really like it lends to that. They can be a fan favorite and a kid favorite. They can be the most disgusting and horrible thing that the fans have ever seen. But also, they're funny too. They're just so funny. And I wish we could wrestle them again very soon, because it's been quite a while. So slime balls, let's make it happen sometime soon,
Ooh.
please.
There's a
Yo,
lot
Tom-
of gold between you guys. You
now,
know?
a little
Yeah.
bit. They're definitely inspiring. That, like, I see them everywhere too, and I'm just like, yeah, y'all are right, and y'all are on it. But
Maybe soon at CZW. Who knows?
yeah,
Ooh.
gotta.
Yeah. I don't know. You guys have a bunch of belts. They have some belts, you know. Maybe we could see a match with it, you know? Someone book it.
Yeah, maybe.
Putting it into existence, pretty much.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
You got to talk about put it into existence, so.
Real quick, we've heard stories of people kind of traveling to places and kind of having matches ready. Like, I think if you were to take 4 people in a car and you were to send them to wherever and have them have matches all over America, you were to put us two, me and Athan, Lost Boys versus the Slime Balls, like we would literally show out wherever it was. Like, those would be the matches that we show up to with our guys, and it's like, yeah, hey, we're gonna put this on for you, whatever. So it's really cool that we have that with them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome. I want to rewind back to ETWA a little bit, because you guys went up to Canada. So that's so awesome.
Yes.
So congrats, you guys are new champs with that.
Thank you.
But tell us a little bit about the experience going up to Canada.
Yeah, so Canada is a very, very, very fun place. It's so the venue itself that we wrestle at is actually only a couple of streets from the border, so it's not too deep into Canada. However, the fans are all just so nice. They're so like loving and so respectful, and they just, as soon as we come out, we don't even need to do anything. They just instantly have our backs, and it's like, it's awesome. It's that some fans had never even seen us before, and within seconds they're screaming Lost Boys and chanting Lost Boys for us. So it's just awesome to kind of go to different places and meet new people and gain new fans. But also, like, Montreal itself is a very beautiful city, and yeah, it was a fun time.
Did you bring back any coffee crisp?
No.
How dare you? That's it.
So
The
are we
podcast is over. No.
Is that something we're supposed to do?
Maybe next time. Next time I'll write it
gotta
down.
bring me
There's
some.
a list of things we didn't do, so next time we'll get coffee, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Right coffee, Chris. Then I don't even know what that is. But
It's kind of like a Kit Kat, but it's like a coffee version of it.
Oh, I think Ryan may have actually had one of those. I don't know. I think Ryan may have had one of those. So,
Did you have
yes,
anything
one of
from
us
like
did.
Canada that's like Canadian? Did you have like the cheese curds or whatever? And
Yeah, poutine. Yes,
Yeah.
we had poutine. We had poutine, which is basically, if no one's had poutine before, it's French fries with whatever
gravy
you
and
want.
cheese curds.
Cheese, yeah, gravy. You can put bacon, you can put pork, you can put mushrooms, onions, whatever you want on it, and it's just a big bowl of these super loaded fries. It's like the most delicious, and like afterwards, the most disgusting thing ever. And then we also had, I don't know how popular this is outside of Canada, if it is at all, but there's a nice dessert called beaver tails, which is like, it's like a flat dough type thing that kind of looks like a beaver tail, and then you can put a type of spread on it and toppings. So like Miles and I split, it was like Nutella on it, and then brownie pieces and white chocolate chunks. So that was also really good. If you go to Canada, I recommend getting a beaver tail.
Yeah, I've heard about that one. I've had like the box where like I've done like openings and they had the ranch dressing chips, and there's like a whole bunch of things like from Canada. So if you guys ever want to do those like boxes for your podcast and you try from like different, places in the world, it's pretty cool. So I did a Canada box. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And Melissa's yelling at me, you and the coffee. Listen, I gotta get those coffee crisps somehow, okay? Like I already have McCrae Martin on it. Now we have M Young J Lee on it. Now I have these guys. Matt D'Angelo's in the chat. He said, "Got to get these guys at C4." Hell
Yes.
I'm down.
We do. That, please. Message C4 that. Comment on all of their Instagram posts. Get the Lost Boys here. We love Canada. Canada loves the Lost Boys.
Yeah, we love Canada.
He's like, yeah. Phil's in the chat. What's up, Phil? What's going on? How are you? Did you go? You had Revolver this weekend. How was everything?
Oh, El Presidente.
Yes.
Yes, sir. That's it.
He says, yes, get these guys the places. # book them. Definitely. So
Yes.
get your favorite promotions. Tag them. Tag the Lost Boys. Get them out there. Let's see what else. Let's talk about this because I had a tweet and I was going to talk about it anyway, but I'm going to give all the credit to Scott on Twitter. He said, make sure to ask them about their appearance at Tony Deppin's Brewery for Mike Bailey's Fightertainment. He said, such fun events with more to come, I hope.
Oh yeah.
So talk to us about that.
Do you know about the fighter?
I saw a whole bunch of like clips of it. I want to go to Tony Deppin's Brewery. That needs to like happen.
So Pilgrim Brewery. It's in Pottsville, PA. For the Fightertainment Spectacle, Speedball's Fightertainment Spectacle. Speedball and Tony Deppin kind of like did it together and had a group of wrestlers put on matches. The first one was like tournament style, where like you just got you got paired off, and then if you lose, you ref the next match, and it was hilarious when like Athan had to ref me versus Speedball after Speedball just like, for lack of better terms, beat his ass.
Murdered.
And then he's like, yeah, Juni, you're next. He's you.
I was like, watch out. I was yelling at him. I was trying my best not to be a biased official, but I was kind of saying, duck, when Speedball would throw a kick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think what's so cool about it is like the atmosphere of it is unlike anything I've seen so far. Like it's compact. It's nice and compact. Like we don't have a ring. We wrestle on these like small mats, and we're surrounded by people and like a little bar table and the camera to record everything, and it was just so cool. And the second show, he brought even like some more people in. Like in the first show, he had Joey Janela, and uh, and then in the second show, he had like Manders, Jordan Oliver, other members of Young, like all the members of Young, Dumb and Broke were there. Like it was just really cool to just perform in a much more low stake environment.
Mhm.
And it was nice to just like I got to have a sick match with Speedball. Athan got to have a sick match with Speedball, and we got to just like fight our trainer, like somebody that we care about and love a lot. And we got to do that and kind of culminate this creation that he wanted, because he didn't necessarily want it to be like traditional pro wrestling as everyone knows it. He wanted it to be something fun and something different, and just when we did it, it was just so awesome. Like it was just so cool, and it felt great, and all the people there were like just awesome, because people were drinking and having a good time, and we all just got to entertain in a different way than usual, while also still honing the craft that we want to hone all the time.
Yes, and to paint a picture, it's literally just a mat in a bar with everyone surrounding, drinking and screaming. And it's very fun. I myself am only 20 years old. Miles is also only 20, so we can't drink. So it's kind of fun being like the annoying younger guys that can't drink and call the other people, bad for drinking, and they boo us. But anyways, the second show, it had a Jenga integration where the matches were, it was like a 4-way elimination match. The first person would get eliminated, and then the second person, so after the first person was eliminated, the other 3 would play Jenga until someone else is eliminated, and then the final 2 would wrestle. So it's like, it was Jenga integrated into the matches. So it's just unique. Yeah, you'll see something new. Also, that show started with a Hattle Royal, where you would get eliminated by knocking, but if someone knocked your hat off. So Juni and I ganged up on Speedball.
That was my 100th match.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Hello, kitty. What's your name?
This is Atticus, no relation to Koger.
How cute. That's awesome. Oh, I see. Love it in the chat. Miles says, those fans don't take too kindly to those of us not old enough to drink. Well,
They're plenty kind enough. Y'all just make them feel bad.
They are very kind. I'll tell you what. If you were to ask Ryan Rise, another member of the Lost Boys, if you were to ask Ryan what his career highlight is, he would probably say the fact that going into his first ever Fightertainment match, he said, I'm going to make one of those fans buy me a drink. And then in the middle of his match, a fan bought him a drink, he chugged it, and he made his comeback, and he beat the other guy up. So, like, he's like, the fact that at the perfect time when I was down and out and I was about to lose, someone buys me a drink, and I drink it in the middle of the match. It was this career highlight. So yeah. That's how fun those shows are.
Oh. Robert's in chat. He goes, Allen Brothers over the Lost Boys.
Dude.
That's Robert Allen, and
look,
Allen Brothers suck.
Hey man, all I'm saying is, I haven't lost to a single Allen in my entire life, and it's never gonna happen. All right. So stay down in North Carolina, or if you really want some, maybe
get some.
Find somebody up here.
Oh yeah, come up here.
Maybe you can have the Lost Boys one more time. But for now, get out.
For now, I think he needs to rest, because we did murder him in that elimination match. We hit him with a bunch of moves and then pinned him and beat him. Yeah. So I think he needs to rest up.
And then
ain't that right, Robert?
Then we went on to beat and pin the rest of his family.
Yes, but no. In all seriousness, even though the Lost Boys did beat the Allen Brothers, and they should always remember that, they are very talented. They're such a good group of kids.
To be completely fair, like Steve, Robert, and Mason, all three of them, they're from North Carolina, which is my home state, and they're doing like tremendous stuff down there. As much as they can be jerks,
Such jerks.
they're really terrible. They have a terrible moral compass, but they're really fantastic talent with like a lot of potential, like way past the ceiling. So yeah, look out for them for sure.
Well, maybe they'll come up for uncharted territory that's coming up at the H2O building the next, was it like 12 weeks it is at Mondays?
Yeah, that'll be sick.
That'd be kind of cool. So a lot of cool stuff's going on over there. That's starting on Monday.
Uncharted territories
Yeah.
on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
It
starting
starts
that.
this Monday. Well, not
That's
today.
interesting.
Next Monday.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm putting it out there.
Maybe
Yeah.
you'll see some of us. Maybe you'll see Miles or something. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. We'll see. Tyler's in chat said Juni at 880 is always amazing. Miles is calling Robert a punk. You guys are crazy. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. Let's talk a little bit about Wrestling Open because you guys have gone up there. We love Wrestling Open here. I mean, even I know you guys were on like the Beyond show.
No, we did the hot dogs and a handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot dog and a handshake
Yeah.
show outside at Ralph Steiner. That was so fun.
Yeah. Just getting to face our other fellow Lost Boys. Anytime we get to just have us four in a ring together, we just have fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
And that's another match that I would recommend people who's never seen us, our group. It's a very good showing as us as a tag team. It's also a very good showing as the other two as a tag team and just all four of us as talent in general. So that's another really good match that I would recommend. I think you can find it for free on Beyond Wrestling's YouTube if you scroll back a little bit.
Yeah. You might actually be able to type in like Lost Boys versus Restless.
That's true.
There you go. And you can watch that on IWTV too because the hot dog and a handshake's on there too.
You watch Hot Dogs and a Handshake on IWTV.
Yeah.
You'll be able to watch it.
So, but yeah, we could talk a little bit about like singles run a little bit for you guys. So, I mean, I was going to talk about Mike Bailey and even like pretty much, like how was, you talked a little bit more if you want to elaborate a little bit more with, working with Mike Bailey.
You want to start us off, Athan? Because I feel like I could probably talk about it in a minute.
Yeah. So Speedball as a trainer, so knowledgeable. He's very different from all the other trainers that we've had in that he teaches in a different style, but in a style that's very, I think, necessary for modern day indie wrestlers. He teaches us a lot about the structure and how to put a match together. And we've learned in such a short period of time so much from him. Like, it's actually insane how much we learned from him in the short period that we got to spend with him. And then as a mentor, as a person, he's the sweetest guy ever. He kicks very hard, but he's the sweetest guy ever. And whenever we, send him a match or ask him a question here and there, he's always quick to respond. He's always quick to watch our matches and give us feedback and whatnot. And sometimes even on his Twitch, he shows our matches. And that's just the coolest thing that's kind of taken us under his wing like that. And then as a competitor, I've only ever faced him once, and it was on a mat. I hope to do it one day in a ring. But he kicked me very hard. He is he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I enjoyed it. Even though I lost and got beat up, I enjoyed every second of it because just sharing a space with him, it's just surreal.
Yeah.
Right. Like when we met him, we knew that like there was something there was something here of like, wow, like all of us were like, man, we want to learn from him more. I wish there was a way. And then literally we go and we're doing crew for JCW, GCW. It was Nick Wayne's birthday show, Nick Wayne and Orange Crush's birthday show. And he's like, hey, just letting y'all know I'm going to run training out of this area in Bethlehem. And we were just like, oh, sick. Like, we're on it. And we were there, like, I was there literally every Thursday minus like one, I think, for like 3 to 4 months. And then just his willingness to just stick with us. Like, he doesn't ever have to respond to the messages that we send him. He is so busy. He is so busy. I think he's arguably one of the busiest wrestlers in the world right now.
For sure. Yeah.
And I could send him a message sometime within the literally whenever, and I'm sure whether it's I wake up in the morning or by lunchtime, he will have responded to me. And that's insane to me, to have a mentor of his caliber of that just is so willing to help no matter what. Like, he is really trying to pave the way for us, and he's really trying to help us be the best that we can be. And he's constantly giving us ideas. Like, I'll ask him something, and then he'll respond to it, and throughout the day he'll literally think about it. Like, we won't be messaging at all, but he'll shoot me a tweet or a message or like a video 6 hours later, be like, hey, you should think of trying this, or like something along those lines. And he doesn't have to do that at all. And to me, that's so, like, I appreciate just the love and care that he has for all of the people that have been under his wing. And so to be able to take part in the fightertainment spectacle with him, to be on the same card as him ever, which I've gotten to do a couple of times just by being right place, right time. Like, just being able to do that has literally been just so insane, and has changed so much about the way that I view wrestling, the way that I go about, like Athan said, structuring my matches, and us structuring our matches, like, as a tag team. Like, I don't think we can ever thank him, Sonny Defarge, and Cheeseburger. Those three, I don't think we could ever thank them enough for what they have done to just get us to where we are now. Like, it's unbelievable what we're now doing in comparison to what we were. Mm-hmm. And it's unbelievable what I know we will do because of it. So it's just, yeah, Speedball, top tier human.
Oh. Yes, and it's one of the coolest things in wrestling is learning from those that, like, you watched growing up. Like, Cheeseburger was literally one of my favorite, at the time he was a comedy wrestler in Ring of Honor, but one of my favorite comedy wrestlers. And then Speedball was one of my favorite PWG wrestlers. Yeah, I had gotten into indie wrestling in the mid 2010s, and PWG I was obsessed with that. I mean, the talent they had in PWG between like 2014 and 2016 is insane. But Speedball was one of my favorite wrestlers there, and then he gets locked out of the U.S. for 5 years, and I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. And then he comes back right around the same time that I start training, and he decides to live, you know, super close to where I go to school, and it's just like super cool. Like, we met and started training, and it's just like, that's just one of the coolest things, you know, personally, to learn from people that you grew up and have a very high appreciation and admiration for.
Yeah. So shout out to Mike Bailey, definitely one of the best into the world. So I'm excited. I was really happy for you guys with that. Judy, there was one match that I definitely want to talk to you, and then I'm going to get to the question into the chat. But I have to talk about the Limitless had the qualifier match that you did in the 4-way with Desmond Cole, Adam Priest, and Andy Brown. Oh my God, like, love them all. They've all been on this podcast. I love those guys. Shout out to Randy, because Randy booked some great stuff up at Limitless. Also, hopefully, you know, like, I see you guys there eventually, you know, tag team up there, you know. Sure. But can you, like, give me a little bit about that match, because that was great.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was so incredibly nervous. So as Athan could vouch for, and sometimes I think it's a little, like, to my detriment, but I wear myself down a lot by kind of the Thursday and Friday before I went up to Limitless, I was in Pittsburgh at 880. So I wrestled 2 matches. I wrestled Thursday, Friday in Pittsburgh. I get done wrestling Friday night, and I drive all the way in New Jersey to pick up Jordan Oliver. I get to Jordan Oliver's house at about 4:15, 4:30. We end up going to sleep around 5:30, 6 o'clock. We have to be up at 7:30 to go pick up Joey Janela. We pick up Joey Janela, and then we go all the way up to Limitless in Maine. And it was just so insane. Like, I get there, and, like, we're a little late because, as we would, there's no way I'm not going to be late or even from, it's going to be really hard. But I got there, like, relatively good time, and I get there, and I talk to these guys, and they're so sick. Desmond Cole is one of the sweetest humans I've ever met. And I get there, and he's just like, this is how I started with Limitless Wrestling. Like, I was in a qualifier, I was in a Fatal 4-Way, and I really want to help you show out. I want you to do your thing. I want you to get some stuff in. And I was, like, thinking of stuff, and they were giving me ideas and helping me really just bring the best version of Juni Underwood to this match. And it was just so sick. Like, I can't. And Andy Brown, like, we know him. We've trained with Andy Brown. And, like, the fact that all three of them, and Adam Priest, he wrestles a lot, like, more, like, in the South. Mm-hmm. But he was just so kind. Like, all three of them didn't have to be. Like, first off, I was already a little late. So, like, right then and there, they could have all just forgotten about helping me have the best performance I could have. But they didn't. They were like, yeah, we want you to succeed. And so we put together this really good, fun match. I love it. Like, I think it's arguably one of my favorite matches that I've had and that I've been a part of. Like, it's just a lot of fun. But just to be able to share the ring with them, and I've wanted to share a ring with Desmond Cole ever since, like, early January, because in early January, I did, like, a tryout match for Wrestling Open, mm-hmm. which I ended up getting a concussion during the tryout match. Mm-hmm. And Desmond Cole literally, like, gave me his entire jug of water. Just because. Like, and to me, that right there, I was like, I know one day I'm going to wrestle this guy, because that was insane. Like, he didn't have to do that. Like, yeah, sure, I had a concussion, and, like, he had water, so why not give it to me? But he gave me his entire jug of water. I have no idea where that jug of water ever went, but, like, I know I have it for too long. But he didn't care. Like, he was like, he just was such a genuine guy. And every interaction I've had with him has been nothing but selflessness after selflessness after selflessness. And it's just so incredible to be in the ring with those three people.
Shout out to them. They're all amazing. I love all those guys. So that's why I wanted to talk about that match, because
I can't say enough about them.
Yeah, they're just great people. They're just great people. Yeah. So, shout out to them. Let's do some. Oh, actually, let me grab the question in the chat. So it's from Dominic. He said, ask them about their match at ETWA and if they know about the hot tub. And Dom said he's the one that dressed, because he texted me. He goes, if they don't remember, tell them I dressed as Barbie at Fight Life.
Oh, yes. I don't know anything about hot tub, though. I don't know what that
I don't know.
But our ETWA match was a lot of fun. Like this past weekend's one.
Yep.
Where we won the ETWA Tag Team Championships. That literally has been, as Athan said earlier, that story really started during that Fatal 4-Way, the Elimination Fatal 4-Way. Athan, do you have any thoughts you want to go ahead and share on this one?
Well, I feel like the story is kind of two stories mushed into one, like just our story and ETWA in general. We started our very first match. We were bad guys, and we were put up against the Colony for the ETWA Tag Team Championships, and we threw everything and the kitchen sink at them, and we couldn't come away with it. So we developed this obsession and this hatred for the Colony, unrightfully so. I mean, we probably shouldn't have had that mental process, but we hated the Colony. We hated them because of that. So every match after that, we were just obsessed. Like, we want the Colony, we want the Colony, we want them back. And they were moving on. They were, other challengers were emerging for their titles. So then it all leads to this fatal four-way. I mean, this four-way tag match. And it's an elimination match, and the very first team eliminated is the Colony. We eliminate them, and we go in like as bad guys. We hate the Colony, and as soon as we eliminate them, we're like, let's go. And then we realize the job's not done, and that didn't really do anything for us. That didn't satisfy whatever we wanted it to satisfy, and we still had to deal with 2 other teams to get to those titles. So from there, we were like, okay, we need to change our perspective. We need to. There's bigger things than just personal vendettas and unnecessary hatred.
Right.
So then we kind of we teamed with the Rat Bastards. We were trying to get the Cold Hard Guapos down because Cold Hard Guapos, they're tough to beat. They have Diego Alvarez, who is very smart. He is full of himself. However, he's a very good strategist. And then Johnny Pierce he's super big. Like he's 6'5", 300 pounds, something like that.
Much taller than both of us.
Yes, and much heavier too. He could pick us both up over his shoulder and slam us down at the same time if he wanted to.
He's done it.
He did that. So in that story, we gained a lot of perspective. And over the course of just one match, we gained so much perspective, and it ended with them choking us out. Well, Johnny choked Juni out while Diego had me in a submission and forced me to watch. And that's how we lost, and that's how they won the tag titles. So at that point, our motives changed, and we got more behind the crowd, and the crowd got more behind us, and we gained a lot of traction and whatnot, and we went after the Cold Hard Guapos. We had a match in Canada, and they beat us by hitting Juni with the title behind the ref's back, and that sucked because Canada really wanted to see us win that night. We really wanted to win, and then so for 6 months later to get a rematch back in Canada, back in the same exact venue in front of the same crowd, and finally beat them for the titles and kind of complete this year-long journey for those championships. Our debut match in ETWA was for the titles, and finally a year later we win the titles. And just I really want to shout out the Myers family. I know DJ came in earlier. I don't know if he's still in, but DJ, Doug, Donnie, everyone there is just they're all incredible to work for, and I have a lot of fun wrestling ETWA. It's in Vermont, so I know it's a little hard to get to for the Northeast Tri-State area people, but if you're ever in Vermont, come by an ETWA show, or in Canada.
Yeah.
There you go. So I see a fan came in. Athena says favorite ETWA tag team as fuck. Pretty much.
And Athena. Shout out to Athena too. She's also part of the Myers family, and she is incredible. She does everything from social media to making videos to trying to collect promos from people and post them when they don't really want to send promos, to taking pictures of the action, to getting really good shots of the action, to running concessions, to running around, to helping tear down the ring. Girl, you don't need to do that, and she does it. She's awesome. So shout out to her. She's a real one. She's a real one.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to you. All right, let's do some of these fan tweets. So we have one from Good Cop, Bad Cop. He loves to mess with everybody. He said, with Lost Boys being an anagram of bossy lot, which tag team is the bossiest on the indies?
Tell me what I'm supposed to say.
The bossiest lot.
What does that mean? I'm confused. Help.
Bossiest lot. What tag team is the bossiest lot? You know what? I would say the Just Us League.
Supposed to be thinking of you.
I would say a tag team that thinks that they run stuff, but they really don't. The Just Us League from UWA Elite.
Yeah, Just Us League, dude. Screw those guys.
They swear they're the bosses. They swear they're the guys, and they're just not. They're not those guys, pals. They're not those guys.
And all that, and then we beat them. Now we beat them every time we're in the ring with them. We haven't lost to them in 6 months?
Since our debut match, yeah. So basically, in UWA Elite, the Justice League were the tag team champions, and they ran through the tag division, and they're bringing in all these tag teams, one of which was the Slime Balls, and they're bringing in all these tag teams that they're like, we're going to bring this tag team in and beat them, right? Just to act like we're doing something good by bringing them in, and then just beat them, embarrass them, and send them on their way and get more wins for us.
Yeah.
And they brought us in, and they beat us the first match. but it wasn't that easy to hold us down. And then the next time we shared a ring with them, we beat them, and ever since we've been the UWA Elite Tag Champions. So they're the bossiest lot. I think they run things, but they really don't. They really don't. Sorry, Steelers.
There you go. All right, let's move on to the next fan tweet. Next fan tweet's from Dave. Who are your wrestling influences?
Juni, you can go ahead and start because I know you.
Yeah, I got it. So I would say Chris Sabin is my favorite wrestler. And then in terms of getting back into wrestling, because I literally the first match I remember I have a very vivid memory of is the Triangle Triple Threat ladder match between Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudleys. And that was really what got me in with like WWE style wrestling. And then my first like kind of venture out of WWE style wrestling was when I watched Chris Sabin's storyline with Petey Williams. Just this super simple story of Petey Williams had this super devastating move called the Canadian Destroyer, and nobody had countered it. Nobody knew how to beat it. He just was hitting everybody with it. He was winning. But then, hail Sabin, Chris Sabin comes along, and he's like, I got to counter. I know what to do. And Petey Williams goes to get him in the Canadian, and he just drops down to one knee, picks him up, cradle shock, which is now, fast forward, 17, 18 years later, is now Juni Underwood's finisher, the cradle flare. Add a little, little to it. But he just being able to watch him, and he just, I don't know. There's just some people that you have like a connection with that you see and you can just feel it. And he's one of those people that I'm just like, man, this guy just gets it. And then in high school, I kind of stopped watching wrestling because I would get bullied for it a little bit. And
Oh no!
That's a story for another day. We don't got a whole. But when I get into college, I started doing theater, and through theater, I kind of just became more comfortable with like who I was as a human, and I started watching wrestling again. But the only reason I started watching wrestling again is because I was literally scrolling through YouTube and I saw an ROH video came up. It was Final Battle or Road to Final Battle. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. And it was the first time I had heard, story time with Adam Cole, baby. And I just literally from there, I started watching it back and like I was just watching Adam Cole matches. Going. And then my dad calls me, we're talking to my dad, and he was like, hey, have you thought about like getting back into watching wrestling at all? And I was like, actually, yeah, I'm watching this guy named Adam Cole. He's in ROH and like this like indie promotion called like PWG, but I haven't really like dove into that yet. And he was like, well, maybe you should watch this NXT from this past Saturday. And so in that NXT, I saw Johnny Gargano, who then became one of my favorites ever. And then on top of that, I was like watching it, and I was like, I don't know why I'm watching this. Like, I don't know why he would recommend me watch this after I tell him that I'm watching a bunch of Adam Cole. And then the main event, Drew McIntyre just wins, and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, who were on earlier that night, they pop up on the corner, and I go, typically wherever this guy shows up, it's like, I was like, is Adam about to? And then literally, bang, Drew, and I go, let's go! Like, I'm in my room, like, yelling, and people are, like, coming into my dorm, like, dude, what's up? And I'm like, I love wrestling! And, like, just losing my mind because Adam Cole showed up, and just, like, it was sick. And so those have really been kind of what drove me. And then Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano is, like, 2 out of 3 falls.
I was there for that.
It's literally, like, I saw that match and I go, I've always wanted to do this, but now I like have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have.
Let me cut you off because Desmond Cole's in the chat. He goes, yo, big boofa.
My God. My God.
We were talking about you earlier. We said horrible things. No, I'm only kidding.
Oh, Juni said one time he was concussed at Wrestling Open, and you had a whole jug of water, and you didn't let him take a sip. And he said you're offer for that.
Okay, maybe wait until this is over so you can actually see what was said before they, uh, go back and watch it. I said nothing but terrible, terrible things.
Much love to Duds. But yeah.
He's-
So, yeah, go ahead.
No, that was it. I think that's basically my story in a very, very short nutshell. Oh, real quick, all because of Peach Snapple, and that's for a different podcast.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you'll need to have us back. Ooh.
Oh,
You gotta
my-
have
It's a two-parter. It's a two-parter up in here.
how Snapple changes lives.
You thought we were gonna give you all the answers in one podcast? No, we're smart businessmen.
Yeah, come on now.
Dud says, wow, it's like that.
What about making y'all wait for the Snapple story?
No, about you
No, I
talking
think he
bad
meant
him.
about
Yeah,
you
the
know,
wa-
you're not getting any water. Or that he's got to go back and watch it.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm not gonna re-say like 5
I'm
minutes.
only kidding. But like, he's just like, wow, it's like that. I'm causing a match right now. No, I'm only kidding.
Ooh.
Make it happen. Yeah. So Ethan, tell us your inspiration, pretty much.
So I have a few different ones. This is a weird question because it's not favorite wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a difference between them. I mean, I could answer favorite wrestlers, but in terms of inspiration / influences, in ring wise, I would say the biggest ones are AJ Styles and Eddie Guerrero.
Mhm.
Those two, I think, like AJ Styles, I feel like for the longest time was the best wrestler in the world, best overall performer in the world. And then Eddie Guerrero, I feel like, is one of those guys who could fly in the air if he wanted to. He could also ground and pound if he wanted to. He could submit you if he wanted to. He had the charisma, he had the moves, he had the attitude, everything in the ring. He was very fluid. So I think him and AJ Styles, and then also Shawn Michaels. I think Shawn Michaels is the greatest overall performer of all time. He just had everything. He had everything you want in the ring. The facials at the perfect time. He had the sells at the most unique sells. He had everything. He knew how to pace himself. He knew how to read a crowd. He knew how to play with the crowd. He knew his psychology was next level, and then his performance itself was next level. So I think Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles, and Eddie Guerrero in terms of in-ring, and then, and it's going to sound really corny and really cheesy, but John Cena was my Hulk Hogan growing up, right? I'm only 20 years old. I grew up, Cena debuted before I was even born. So like he was the guy growing up for me, and he very much actually instilled in me the idea to never give up. Like growing up, like you don't understand. I'd be going through a challenge, I'd be going through things, and all I could think is never give up, like never give up. Like, you know, like I ran the mile. That was my big track race. I was a long distance runner in middle school and high school, and my best race was the mile. And just every mile, it'd be like never give up, just keep going, like never give up, like hustle, loyalty, respect, you know. So like John Cena is a very big influence and inspiration outside of the ring, and then everything he's done for, you know, the Make-A-Wish kids and everything he's done philanthropically, it's been a really big inspiration. Like I very much want to inspire kids. Like that's one of the biggest reasons I've been wrestling, is to inspire the next generation and to teach them, you know, core values and morals and whatnot, and just good things, and be a good influence on them, and to help make a lot of kids very happy, you know. So John Cena too.
I love that. That's like fits into my wrestling with positivity, which I'll get into. But Desmond Cole said in the chat, all jokes, y'all a bunch of talented dudes who had an amazing head on your shoulders. Keep on keeping on and continuing to grow for real. Much love.
Thank you, Desmond.
We get mushy
Honestly,
here.
Juni, I've never shared the ring with Desmond. We have to get him in a tag match somehow. Desmond, pick your partner and pick a time and place.
Oh.
There.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm here. Maybe him and like Gabe Sky, or maybe him and Tristan.
Ooh.
Tristan Ty. Let's go.
Okay. Down for whatever.
I'm here for
Yeah,
it.
all of the above. All the above.
Yeah. We got more people.
It was a lot.
As many people we want. We got more people part of the Lost Boys, you know? We can do it. We can We can do with however many you
3 on
want.
3, 4 on 4, whatever you want.
Ooh.
Des, come on. I
Ooh,
want you in
I'm
the
getting
ring.
excited
I'm sure Juni wants you in the
here.
ring again.
Let's
Go
go.
Go grab the miracle wands or something.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Ooh.
I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. All right, let's go. Like, I'm here, you know. All right. Oh, Dave's other question was, what's a book you'd recommend?
A book. Does it have to be like no pictures?
Good Night Moon.
Well, I'm big on like comic books and like graphic novels and like, you know, animated and anime related things.
Well, go for it because actually Dave's a big anime guy. So
I
Oh my gosh.
read The Last Ronin, which is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing. It takes place kind of in the future where like all but one of the turtles is alive. And like that's not a spoiler. The spoiler would be if I were to tell you which one is alive, which I'm not gonna do. But it's so cool just like to see that journey, and it's like so well written. It's like it's just really good. It's honestly one of my like favorite pieces of fiction I think I've like ever read. Like it's just really, really good. I spent so I'm a substitute teacher, and like on my off time, and or on my not wrestling time, and so whenever I had like, I literally read it all within like a day. Like anytime that the kids like didn't need something to do, I was just reading, and it was like I read it from literally start of the day, and I finished it by the end of the day. It was like so good. So I would definitely recommend Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin.
okay. What about you?
I have two answers, and one of them is maybe a generic answer. I'm not sure, but Of Mice and Men is a very, 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 very good story. Lenny and George. If you've never read Of Mice and Men, it's a quick read, but one of the greatest pieces of literature of all time. Very sad, but very, very, very fulfilling and good story. And then this one, it's more so a children's story. It's not like one with pictures, but I've read it. My 5th grade teacher read it to us in the 5th grade, and it was called Because of Mr. Terra, and it was just so cool. It's basically about like this influential teacher who gets hurt, and like the kids don't really know who they have as a teacher until like he gets hurt and has to like, you know, misses some time, and it's just they all come together, and it's like a coming of age. There's a whole bunch of like different, you know, I forget if they're in middle school or whatnot, and that's a really good story. I think that may be a little bit lower of a reading level when you read it in 5th grade, but that's still this day probably like my favorite book that was ever read to me or that I've read. So Because of Mr. Terra and Of Mice and Men. However, I'm much more of a movie guy myself, so I could make movie recs better than I can make book recs. Just throwing that out there.
Also facts. Same.
Yeah.
Okay. I know there's a lot of book readers in this chat. Like I know like Dave asked the question. I know Dominic, so I'm sure Dominic's happy listening to that. In case you can't tell, Athan had never read a book outside of school. That's terrible, Miles. Terrible.
Miles is
He's
saying that yet he didn't even read books in school. We went to the same school, so I don't know what he's talking about. But
Hey, man.
he's also right though.
Now, dude.
He's also right. Listen, I was occupying all my time with sports and wrestling, so I didn't really have time for reading.
There you go.
Although I do actually enjoy reading. Like I do have a bunch of books that I would like to get to. I just timing with college and stuff. It's hard to.
I gotta tell you,
I'm sure.
I don't.
All right. Well, I got 2 final questions, and then we'll go over everything. So let's do. I had like a triggering question from a fan tweet. It was Mike. Oh no, it was like, I call it like trigger. If you could deem a national holiday, what would it be, and what would you call it?
Hmm. National No School After the Super Bowl Day. It is the most annoying thing to have to go into school the day after the Super Bowl. Why doesn't America have off? And I'm serious. I'm serious. I feel like people in the workplace, people in school, everyone would appreciate a day off. Like it's okay. It starts at 6:30. By the time it ends, it's like almost 11 o'clock after like the ceremony. It's 11 o'clock. People are eating the most wings, pizza, and fries like of any other day in America, and they're drinking beer and they're partying. They're out late. It's like, for kids, you get to stay up late to watch the football game, and everyone's happy about it. Whether it's your team or not, it's just like, why do we not have off of school and work the next day? That should be a thing. That's the holiday.
Make it a holiday.
My holiday was definitely not as fun, and well, actually, it's more fun in a different way, because as people know, I am a little bit of a pyromaniac, if you will. I like fire, and I think it would be sick if there was like a national bonfire day, so that we can, all like be in unity around a super giant ass bonfire.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be
one
sick?
bonfire, the whole world.
Yeah, the whole world on fire, dude.
The Lost Boys.
I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to just
I'll bring the
The whole world.
s'mores.
the whole rest of
Galore, baby.
the world on fire. Little fires everywhere, baby. I'm trying to watch it all burn. But in the great,
I'll bring
Whoa,
the
calm
s'mores.
down.
I know I'm getting excited.
In your elevator pitch to the U.S. government to make a national day, you should not say, I want everything to burn. But I do agree that a bonfire day would be awesome. Hosted by the Lost Boys.
Are you telling me our U.S. government wouldn't buy that? Look, dude, historically speaking, they might respond to it in a better way than we think. I'm saying.
Oh my God. All right. All right. So I'm going to end off on my wrestling with positivity on this episode. And I'm still doing a video, guys. If you guys are interested, out there, if you want to contribute, shoot me a message. It's pinned on my Twitter or X, excuse me, not Twitter, X, whatever like that. If you want some details, anything in wrestling. So for you guys, anything that comes to mind, whether it's something that you've done for a wrestler, or maybe a wrestler's done for you, maybe something a fan's done for you, maybe something that you've done for a fan, anything particular that like we wouldn't know unless you would share.
So outside of what I already mentioned about Desmond Cole, because again, I think that was one of the like literally insane. I can't thank him enough for doing that. But for Three Legacies Wrestling, which is typically ran by Ricardo Rodriguez, there's this there's this kid named Diesel, his brother, his mom, and the man that she is dating. They show up to every 3LW show, and literally just I got my first like art from them, like fan art. It was so sick, like to just really wonder, because wrestlers will go through periods, whether it's early, whether it's late. I'm sure like we're gonna go through multiple, but we always go through periods of like, do we really matter in the grand scheme of wrestling? Do we as individual wrestlers? Do we? And then when somebody takes their sweet time, like literally everybody's time is so precious. Like time is so precious. So the fact that this kid made sure to take time out of his time and his mom's time to make me a piece of art is just like, wow. Like Diesel is like literally one of the greatest kids like I've ever met in my life. So that's my little piece that I wanted to make sure got out.
Yeah, that's so sweet. I remember that day when Juni, Juni was very, 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 very happy that Diesel made him a poster. It was very sweet. Um, I there was the little girl from Green Mountain. So at Green Mountain Wrestling, there was a very, very sweet little girl that showed up with a custom made Lost Boys #1 fan shirt, which is like
Aw.
the coolest thing that, her and her family, her parents made her a whole shirt that like she probably wears other places that says Lost Boys #1 fan. And so coming out and seeing that, we took so much pictures with her, and so it was Juni and I had a tag match, and then we won and we stayed out to introduce the next match, which was Miles versus Ryan, because even though they're part of the Lost Boys, they were having some disagreements at the time and had to settle their beef. They were beefing over Taco Bell pretty much. So their literal beef they had to settle.
Yeah.
And so we introduced that match, and we sat ringside with them, and we sat with the little girl. So that was really cute.
Oh.
And every match, I make it a point. Every single match that Juni and I defend, or even just bring out the tag team titles with, whether it's in UWA Elite, whether it's in ETWA, whether it's in future promotions with tag titles, it's a kind of like a little bit of a ritual for myself and for us as a team to, when we're done, if we are still tag champs at the end of the match, we will go up to one of the little kids that helped support us and give them the title and raise their hand for the crowd to cheer them, because they helped support us and cheer us. So like that's something every time after a match we always go up to pick a kid, give the kid the title, raise their hand, and have the crowd cheer for them. So that's it's just like we've heard countless times from parents that like that type of stuff, it's made their kids' day. And like the one kid was like, that just made my entire life. Oh my gosh. And like that's over exaggerated, but like it's the fact that we do inspire and we influence, and these kids look up to us, and we're influencing and inspiring another generation. Hopefully they look at us down the line like we looked at some of our favorites, and hopefully we increase their passion for pro wrestling. And that's just something like I love the kids. The kids are one of the biggest reasons why I do it.
This is amazing. Thank you guys for like sharing that. The wrestling with positivity is like very important on the Indie Wrestling Corner for me. So there's so many stories. You guys, if you haven't watched, there's 3 episodes. I drop them very randomly. I usually try to do between Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day. And Thanksgiving's coming up. So again, like if you guys want to contribute and tell your stories, shoot me a message, because these stories are very empowering. So thank you, for sharing that. But yeah, let's talk about what you guys got coming up so people can come support you and bother you and, and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, I have 2 match graphics here. So, I will be at Fight Life next week, and I'm here for the scramble. I'm here for all the flips. I expect a bridge from Juni.
Even if I don't do it, I'll make sure somebody bridges in that match.
Dustin does a beautiful bridge.
Juni, if Dustin bridges, I want you to stomp his stomach in.
Oh.
If Dustin bridges, I'm going to straight up light his shoes on fire.
Okay. On the toes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone tag Dustin.
Word.
Yeah, Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin.
I want to see how fast you can run with no shoes
Yeah.
while your feet are on fire.
Feet are on fire. If you call yourself the Flash is used to running with his feet on fire, kind of.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
He's done 2 bridges, and that's it. He gave me the bridges because I sponsored him at BLP. So he gave me the bridge, and I never saw him do the bridge. And then I came to the Beyond show the next day, and since I was there, he gave me the bridge again. And that was it. I never saw it again.
We'll see.
So I expect a bridge. But yeah, Fight Life. This is on Fight TV. Check this out next Wednesday. I'll be there. There'll probably be Indie Talks episodes on this channel. I'll bother Juni pretty much, in the backstage. We'll talk about some beer maybe. Going on at the beer place. It's great. But yeah. And then I have also UWA Elite for you guys. So that's
Yep.
coming up November 18th. I know Melissa's going. This should be fun. So Pretty
Yes,
Ugly
Last
versus
Breath.
Lost Boys versus Just Us League.
Yes, that match is going to be insane. It's been a long time coming, for sure.
Yep. And for those of you that don't know, UWA Elite's biggest show of the year, their last show, it's their season finale. That's coming up in a couple weeks, November 18th. It's called Last Breath, the big three-way. We've been beefing with the Justice League for a long time now. We've been beefing, but kind of also now respect and admire the Pretty Ugly. So we want to give them a shot, but we also want to get our hands at the Justice League because they concussed us a couple weeks ago. They concussed us and left us out of action, and we didn't forget about that. So we want our hands on them, but we also want to give Pretty Ugly another shot because they've really developed as a tag team, and it's just a culmination of this three-way story that's been going on for the last couple months, and it's going to be a barn burner. You need to make it out there if you're in the area.
For sure.
Awesome. What else you guys got coming up? Because those are the only graphics that I have for you guys. So if there's anything else you want to share.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a. I don't know if you know much about Titan Championship
Oh, yeah.
Wrestling.
I know about Titan.
They're doing Mount Olympus is Saturday, November 4th. That'll be super fun. We're going to be a part of it, or at least I'm going to be a part of it in some way, and I know Ryan Rise is going to be a part of it in some way. A lot of, we travel so much, and sometimes we may end up at a show that you have no idea that we're going to be at, and
Yes.
that typically happens a lot.
Also, the Sanctuary runs first Friday of every month, and then select Sundays.
Yes.
What is their next Sunday? Is that the 5th? November 5th?
I think it's...
I know they're having a Friday show, and then I know Ace Austin, I believe, is going to be doing a Sunday show on the 5th.
Yeah, I believe that's November 5th, so head out to that as well. And then also, Tony Deppen is running a show the same day as UWA Elite,
Yes.
November 18th.
He's there as well. We're gonna do.
That's a
Tony
busy day, the 18th.
Immediately head out. That's what I enjoy, the busy days. I really
Yes.
like to go to sleep on a Sunday and wake up on a Monday going to school and being like, wow, I had a really productive weekend. Yeah.
So if you're in the Pottsville area, also head to that as well. And you can also check out Tony Deppen's brewery as well.
I know, I got to get
Which is
there.
Just
home
all
of the Fighter Entertainment Spectacles.
the lookout for the
Yeah, literally. So we have a theme song and it says, "Look out, it's the Lost Boys."
Yeah.
And I think you should always keep a lookout for us.
I love that. Tell everybody where they could follow you guys so, they can come bother you and come see ya.
Juni Underwood FS Pro on basically all platforms. If you type in Juni Underwood anywhere, my name will pop up. I don't know if there's any other person named Juni Underwood. So, yep, that's me.
And then I am Athan_wrestles on Instagram, Athan Promise on Twitter. And then Miles is also, I believe, on X. The one that Elon Musk owns is the one in which I'm Athan Promise on. And then Miles Penn is Miles Penn Pro on both platforms. And then Ryan, that bum, doesn't have
That
an
absolute
Instagram.
bum, dude.
But
He's
he does have an X. It's RY Wrasslin, RASSLIN on X. He doesn't have an Instagram yet. One day we're gonna sit him down and make him get an Instagram. But until then, follow all the other three Lost Boys: Miles Penn Pro, Juni Underwood FS Pro, and then Athan_wrestles on Instagram.
There you go. All their links and their merch is all in the description for you guys. Go buy their stuff. Yeah.
Also on YouTube. Sorry.
No,
always
you're
have to
good.
plug
Go.
this, too. We have we wrestle on this thing called Captured Lightning, which is the recordings that we do at the Worldwide Dojo, which is where we train.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a series of matches that's kind of like the prequel of The Lost Boys, like how all four members got together. It's the story of how we all got together, how we kind of got our headbands, how we came together in a certain way. It's myself versus Miles in a singles match on Captured Lightning. It's myself and Miles teaming up against a very angry Juni and Ryan, who's trying to calm everybody down. And then the last match of the trilogy is a fatal four-way between all of us where we settle our differences and it all culminates. And all those matches are really good. So you can find that on YouTube very easily. Just look up Captured Lightning, and then just look up, Captured Lightning, Athan Promise, Miles Penn, Juni Underwood, Ryan Rise, whoever, and those videos will show up. So watch all 3 of those videos in order.
Okay. Miles said next time you see Ryan at a show, bully him to get an Instagram.
We tried.
He's so stubborn about it. I don't know, why he doesn't
Why are
want
you
an
hating
Instagram.
on the gram?
You're right.
Why are you hating on the gram? It's just a bunch of pictures. Or videos? What's the problem with the gram? It's probably less, dramatic than X.
Oh, it's for sure.
Pretty much. Well, anyway, thank you guys for coming on here and chatting with me for a little bit. So, like I said, these guys are up and coming. You'll see them all over the place. I'm big into Juni probably more at places. So I hope to see you, tag team soon again. I'm here for you in Slime Balls again. Cody, make it happen at NFW. Anyway.
Everyone make it happen. Us and the Slime Balls make us versus Desmond Cole and a partner of his choosing.
Quick, we didn't talk about them, but the Rat Bastards. They are sick. They're out of WrestlePro, and literally every time we wrestle them, it's significantly better than the last time we wrestled them, and they're so sick. Look them up. Adam Kirkland and Xander Torres. I was about to say Cortez for some reason. Xander Torres. They're so literally.
They're awesome.
So sick. Yeah. Give us anybody.
Anybody, anywhere.
There you go.
Make magic.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Book it. Make it happen.
Put them in a headlock and tell them to do something. They won't be able to do nothing.
Do something.
I'm ready here. Above the Rest or Miracle Gen, Vlog Bro University. Oh, the rep. I love the rep.
Miracle Gen, yeah, make it happen.
Yeah, dude. If we okay. If we wrestle Miracle Gen, if Kylon King thinks about doing a bridge, dude, London Bridge is burning down. It ain't.
Damn. The Bridge Life is the best life. I gotta make that shirt. Bridge Life is the best life because I'm always saying it. So.
Bridge, and I ain't letting Tiffany get this. None.
Damn it!
Wow. So I guess we're the bad guys in that match.
Damn it! You're gonna set me on fire next.
You better hope I'm kind enough to treat you to a bridge. Yeah.
I got it. It's on tape already. I got it on my camera somewhere. So I caught the bridge. I caught the bridge at NFW. It's there. It's documented. Bridge life is the best life. So, well, thank you guys again so much for coming on here. I appreciate everything that we talked about. I'm all messed up now because like the bridge life. But anyway, thank you guys for all your fan questions. Everybody in the chat that came in here and asked a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said,
thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Next week I'll be at Fight Life, so there'll be an Indie Talks video, so no live podcast. So make sure you're following me and all that fun stuff. So. So you guys know the drill. Stay safe, support independent wrestling, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
Thank you.